Hey, welcome back to Workflow Live, the video where we teach you how to automate a process in your business without writing a single line of code. My name is Andrew Dodds. I'm your host, and we're going to take a look at how you can use Airtable to manage your projects. But the specific thing we're looking at is how can I write changes, status changes, and sort of have a log that I could go back to and see how things have changed over time. This is a common question I get, and looking forward to jumping into it with you. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got a base here. We'll just call it project tracker. And let me explain to you the challenge first. This table is set up. We've got a couple of projects, and every project, of course, has a status and someone who's reviewing, making sure that it moves from one status to the next, right? Think about what this could be for you. It may be more complex, but the same principles will hold. So I want to show you what this does first. The first thing is that when I make the change, it's going to stamp it into the change log. It's going to say who made the change, who was the reviewer, and it's going to show us that status. Let me show you what that looks like now. And the trigger is, when I change the status. So you'll see I've changed project A to in progress, and it's going to write in progress here for us in the change log. Now, where this is really cool is we could see in one place how these statuses have been approved over time. So imagine a week goes by, days go by, whatever it is. And I'm in here to say that we're now done with the project or moving to another phase. It's actually going to write that information into the change log in the next line. So I could see over time how my statuses or how the assignment is happening, and it's my source of truth for that. Okay. So this is a really valuable thing to have in your projects, and it's pretty simple to set up. So a couple of things that you've got to do to set it up, and I'll just show you that now. The first is you're going to want a status change date. And once you create this, you can hide it. But essentially, you want it just to tag whenever a field is changed, a status field is changed. So you're going to say specific field. Okay, and choose status. What it's going to do is anytime there's a modification to that field, like this, it's going to write that information there. Okay. You're going to want to have a reviewer field. You always want to have this filled out. So whoever the reviewer of the project is going to be, you're going to use the user field type for that. You could see that here. What's cool about that is that gives you a drop down of everybody in the base. And if they're not there, you can invite them. And then finally, there's going to be a formula that does the calculation. And the way that you're going to do that is you're just going to concatenate the status, the reviewer field, and the status change date. So this formula calculation will change as the status and the dates change. Okay, so this is just a snapshot in time. And we'll constantly be making that calculation, and it will be telling the automation then to write that formula information into the change log. Why can't I just use a formula to keep track of it? Because a formula is only going to give you that point in time. You would have to write an inordinately, really, really complicated formula to keep all of this information and to keep it making sense moving forward. So this works as just a holding ground for the information you want to write into the change log. That's it for the setup. The automation itself is really simple, and you could use whatever trigger you want. I'm using the trigger when a record is updated on the status. Alternatively, you could create a checkbox or anything like that to trigger the change. So I've said when there's an update to the status, I want you to update that same record. So you're going to click the blue plus and you're going to click on Airtable record ID. That is the record ID of the status that is being changed. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that all Airtable records have a record ID underlying it so that you have the ability to reference that, and it's a unique ID for the record. Makes it easier to do these types of things. And then you're going to, on your changelog field, you're going to select that field and you're going to tell it to write the information up top here that is in the changelog right now. So you'll click on the, actually, I'll just do this. I'll show you. So let's do it from the beginning. You're going to click choose field. You're going to find your changelog. You're going to click the blue plus because that represents dynamic data coming in. So that's data that can change at any time. We're going to tell it that we want it to write anything that's currently in the changelog. So that's how we get that running list. Then we're going to give it an enter so that, it goes line by line in the changelog itself. And we're going to say we want that formula. So a little tip, you can start typing and it will do that, our formula calculation. Okay, so we have that. We'll go ahead and update it. Now you'll want to remember to turn your automation on. And here we are. So let's say we're moving from to do on project C to in progress. You'll see the formula changed. This, of course, is just working behind the scenes. And our changelog now has a record. And this will continue to log all of our changes while we'll just hide the fields that we don't need to interact with. And now we've got a really slick way to see our status changes over time or change in any field that you like. That's it for this video. It was a quick one. Let me know what you think. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.